All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is 6 pond. Did I just say 6 pond? 6 rubbers brought down, field of catfish. Each of these rubber weighs 50 kg, and it's from a pond of just 1,000. Although not the entire pond has been cleared, but the reason why it has been sold at exactly 4 months is to check the profit stroke loss analysis that one can generate in a space of exactly 4 months. So we are going to do the plus and minus to know if there was actually profit in this business or a loss. So as I said before, each of them is 50 kg, and we are going to check how much was spent in feeding them, how much was obtained in selling them, and from there we can determine the profit. All right, still remain with us while we do the calculation. Boom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have seen exactly what happened a few minutes ago. A small farm of about 691 fish was cleared, 2 basic ponds, and each of those fish are weighing less than a kg of weight, and they are all they're just 4 months old, exactly 4 months old. Now, at 4 months old, majority of your fish will not get to table size. Table size in the sense that they will not hit 1 kg. Very few amount of it hits 1 kg. Now, from what we have just seen right now, a pond of about 691 fish was cleared, and each of these ponds, there are 2 basic ponds. Each of these ponds actually yielded a total of 6 rubbers, and each rubber of fish costing about 50 kg worth of fish, costing about 750 naira per unit kg. That is the cost price currently here in Edo State, Nigeria. Now, these fish are quite small; they are not quite big. If they were 1 kg of weight, then the cost price as I speak to you today, being December 18, 2021, actually the cost of a 1 kg worth of fish is 1,000 naira, and that's still pretty small. If it is less than a kg, when you have about 80 fish and above, 80 to 90 fish to give you a total of 50 kg, then that price is dropped to 750 naira, and it is still very bad, trust me. And by the time you make your calculation very well, 750 naira times 5, that will give you roughly, if I'm not mistaken, it should be around 750 times 5. That should be around 35,000, no? 32,500, if I'm not mistaken. It should be about 32,500 or so, or 35,200. I think it should be within 35,000 or thereabout, but I think it's actually 37,500. Yeah, 37,500 per unit rubber. Now, as I said before, we had a total of 6 rubbers, each of them costing about 37,500 naira. And if you calculate the entire rubbers, that will give you a total of about that's about 225,000. That's 35,500 times 6. That's about 225,000 naira. Now that is the cost it was sold out. Now, if you look at how much was invested in terms of feed, the amount invested in terms of feed is close to 200,000. The cost of feed is the major problem we farmers are experiencing here in Nigeria and other places. The cost of feed is constantly increasing. The cost of selling them out is not correspondingly increasing as it ought to be. And because of that, when a farmer clears a pond of about 1,000 fish, he or she cannot boast of 100,000 naira. And it's a very painful experience. Very, very painful experience. When a farmer clears about 2,500 fish, he or she cannot boast of 250,000 naira. When you spend close to 1 million naira in feeding, and what you get at the end of the day is just a little fraction. Now, this is a problem that has lingered on in the world of catfish farming. And a lot of farmers have fallen out of the lane simply because haven't spent so much time to change water, feed the fish, treat them when they are sick. At the end of the day, it's time to reap from your labor. You discover that your fish is not even able to meet up with the expected profit. Not because you are not a good farmer, but simply because those who dictate the price per unit kg out there actually do that at the expense of the farmers. And it is important for you as a farmer, if you must sell in wholesale where people come to clear, because they usually come with very little amount of price, and probably by the time they get into the market they inflate the price. So when you meet those kind of people, there are two things you can do. Number one, you may decide not to sell through them. Yes, you may decide not to sell through them, just that you will have the pains of doing the sales yourself, either going to the market yourself or retailing them yourself, and that will take you a longer period of time. That is one. Number two, you may decide to process your fish. If you have an oven, you can process your fish, dry them to a very, very good extent, and they can last you for a long period of time. That period, it will last you for about 6-7 months. You can sell your fish during that time. Now, the truth about it is that the demand for fresh fish is higher than the demand for dry fish. That's the gospel truth. The demand for fresh fish in the market is higher than the demand for dry fish. And so you always will not find people ready to buy dry fish as much as you will find people ready to buy fresh fish. But the good thing about dry fish is that you can dry and stock for a long period of time and sell them bit by bit to make your money. If you do that, the chances of you shooting 50% increase or even 100% increase of your cost of investment is very, very high. That is the beauty of processing your product. If you are unable to do these two things, then I just remembered of a farmer that actually farms and sells. What I mean by selling is that he processes and sells. He farms. After farming, he will process it to the sense that he's into barbecue. So in the evening, he will just go close to a beer parlor and then go there and process his fish, spice them up, and sell to his customers. And he makes his money very, very well because he is the farmer. And when he spices one fish of about 1 kg, he sells it nothing less than 2,000 naira. So he makes a profit about 1,000 naira just on top of the normal fresh fish before you start talking about the profit he makes per fish. So that's another way you can actually improve on your sales ability and make a very good outcome. However, if you were to calculate the profit margin from these sales you have just watched, you will discover that the profit margin is not up to 20 or 30%. And that's very, very poor. Very, very poor. Imagine someone invested 180,000 naira and sold his pond at 225,000 naira. That means he has just made a profit of 45,000 naira. And of course, 45,000 naira as profit, if you calculate the percentage profit, which is 45,000 naira divided by 225,000, you are roughly going to get within 30 to 40% increase as profit. Well, one may say it is quite fair enough, but it's still not fair enough if you ask me. It's still not fair enough. So, all in all, it is important as a farmer to know, number one, catfish farming is not easy. Profit making in catfish farming is also something that is questionable because the look of things in terms of feed increase, if you're not manufacturing your feed, you will discover that you have a lot of money to spend to train your fish. And what betide you are training fish that do not grow fast. What I mean by growing fast is that you're making use of fish that are not shooters. Every breeder has shooters. Every breeder has shooters. If you are lucky to meet them and get shooters, you're going to get the best out of what you want. So just to avoid making this video too long, just as a quick summary of what happened. We started this farm 4 months ago. We cleared a pond of about 691 fish today, and we generated a total of about 225,000, having spent 180,000. That's about 45,000 naira profit within a space of 4 months. And the total amount of kg generated is about 307 kg. That's about 0.3 ton. You know, of course, it's because it has been harvested prematurely. You know, if this fish were allowed to linger on to about 8 months, then you should be shooting nothing less than 0.7 ton, close to a ton, sir, as the case may be. So, once again, this is Juleben Fish Academy. Thank you for watching, and see you when we meet again.